Peace, family. Welcome to Black Star TV 2.0. It's your boy Black Star, and today I got an episode for y'all. But first, I would like to tell all the people who aren't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you smash the subscribe button and the like button. Hit that notification bell too, so you can be notified when this get out, and also hit the share button if you can. Today we're going to talk about Madonna, these two dudes from Atlanta, and I just want to get into this whole. I'm gonna actually talk about my situation that happened with me in Oregon. I'm gonna show some of my paperwork a little bit, but with this whole adoption and foster care situation, I want to get into that and break that down, how it's being used as a vehicle to molest, rape, and have these kids used in sex trafficking, which is not really like FBA culture, right? Of course, every culture has their weirdos, right? We have people, because I've been molested myself by two different people, you know what I'm saying? So we do have weirdos in our community, right? But we don't do the whole sex trafficking thing, right? There's nowhere you can go in our community where you could just sell off kids to somebody and be like, yo, bro, I got some 10-year-olds over here. You feel what I'm saying? And whoop-de whoop-de-whoop. You know what I mean? This is more European culture, and some of the Africans and Spanish people, they do that as well, right? You won't find FBA anywhere, right, involved in like sex trafficking with kids and all this whole other stuff, right? Now we do delve into the whole pimping thing, but that's just that could be a whole nother story, right? So I wanted to get into this story with Madonna, and then I'm gonna go as I go on. I'm gonna get into the my situation and this whole other thing in Georgia. So let me share my screen with y'all. And again, I would like to thank all the people who subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all subscribing. We hit that 1,500 mark, and I appreciate everybody and love everybody who's been supporting the channel. But all right, let's get on to it. Madonna accused of child trafficking in Malawi. Here's everything you need to know. And you know what's funny? They love to use Black children for whatever reason. They love to use Black children. Now, they, of course, we all know that they also use white children as well. They will kind of use whoever they can, to be honest. But they have an affinity for Black children, and the mainstream media hasn't been playing this. It's funny because I actually seen this on Tariq Nasheed, and I was going to actually do a video on the two dudes from Georgia. Anyway, so I was kind of glad that he brought this up to light, because it kind of like went with what I was trying to do anyway. But Madonna is being accused of sex trafficking and sexual exploitation Malawi children by a charitable organization known as Ethiopian World Federation, or EWF. Here's everything you need to know. The pop singer Madonna is being accused of human trafficking and sexual exploitation by children. Exploiting children by a charitable organization known as Ethiopian World Federation, according to All Africa. As stated on the Federation's website, the EWF is a civic service organization that pushes policy and advocates to change the laws that harm all Black people. And you want to know what's funny? This is what, and it's funny because as I looked it up, Tariq was actually right, where they're not even, this isn't a mainstream media thing, right? Because again, they want to tuck this, especially away from putting some dirt on somebody like Madonna, right? But if this was like R. Kelly, or this was Bill Cosby, or this was any of Black person per se, mainstream media would be all over this, right? And again, they like to go to Africa because they know FBA, to be honest, and I'm not denigrating Africa or anything like that, but our people are more likely to tell what's going on, and this just isn't. I can't even really explain to an extent, but this is why a lot of people do go to Africa, because again, they're a very, I don't even want to say poor country, because they're actually rich in resources, right? But you do have a lot of poor sections over there. But let me get back to reading. So the EWF is asking Malawi President Lorenzus Chahakawar to investigate. I probably bodied his name, but who cares? To investigate Madonna's charity and restrict her and her associates' accessibility to Africa and to African children as a precautionary measure until a thorough investigation is done into the child trafficking, sex exploitation, sexual slavery, adoption, reversal, treat, coercion, fraud, deception, and the abuse of power or vulnerability. Madonna's 1992 book titled Sex was cited in the petition, which features adult content, softcore porn, and sadomasochism or whatever, pornographic content, and LGBT conducted punishable by law in the country of Malawi. Gay porn stars were photographed in pornographic pictures with Madonna performing vulgar sex acts with the same sex, which should have been disclosed during her adoption case in 2006. But I'm pretty sure at some point, one of these kids probably got older and told, because that's normally what happened with children, right? A lot of children, even with myself, for an example, right? I kept a lot of things to myself, and I actually focused that energy to other things, which was getting me in trouble, to be honest, right? And not until I got older did I really feel comfortable to even tell somebody, and that was only after somebody actually, shared their experience with me. And that's another reason I like to share my experience, because sometimes, people can be going through things, and a lot of dudes actually get molested more than you even think, right? A lot of us do, because even with my situation, right, when I was first, coming out, and I don't really want to say that other part, but because it's a legal situation going on. But when that started off, I started asking my cousins and some of my friends that I grew up with, started asking them, did anything ever happen to you? Or, you know what I'm saying? After I was telling my story, people was like, yo, bro, dude used to be doing some weird stuff to me as well. So it's like, you know what I mean? A lot of us, especially males, a lot of us don't like to even say anything at the time. So, it's not only till sometimes somebody else says something will come forward that, somebody even feel comfortable. But even then too, right? Not some of them, again, even with the legal situation, some of them didn't even want to feel comfortable to even get in on it, or say anything about their own situation publicly to an extent. You get what I'm saying? So again, this is why I always feel like, not being an advocate per se, but just letting my story be known. And if you need to ever talk to somebody or something like that, man, hit me, email me, whatever, hit me in the comments. I try to get at you or whatever. But I'm trying to tell you, it's so relieving to, be able to get certain things off your chest after a while. You feel what I'm saying? Because that did a number on me for a long time, and I was, getting in trouble real heavy based off holding all that animosity in. But again, let me get back to this. Madonna had to sign a contract that forbade the book from including images of child pornography, bestiality, or religious imagery. Shortly after signing that agreement, Madonna found a company called Maverick, a partnership with the Time Warner. She now holds total artistic control over any work released by Maverick, who is now the book's publisher. The agreement she signed with Time Warner with the sexual explicit content in the book, sex was null and void. The petition argues that the psychology behind Madonna's ability to release child pornography, religious imagery, bestiality, and vulgar pornography has prompted her to open a orphanage in Malawi named Raising Malawi in 2006 to host social experiments on vulnerable African children in Malawi. And I'm trying to tell you, right? It's funny because the people who do these type of things always prey on people who are troubled, like troubled kids, people that don't really have anybody. It's rare that you catch these people just getting, the average Joe that, has a mom or dad or a strong family support to an extent, right? more than likely they're always going after, at least I can say it's definitely for the two people that got me, which one, oh, it was always crazy because now that I'm older, I used to be like, damn, this dude was in, he owned a daycare, he owned a day camp, he was in the Boy Scouts, he was like, the Big Brother stuff, like all of that, bro. You name it had to do with kids he was with. And the other dude is still a principal, right? So it's like, you just gotta watch people, man. You gotta watch people around your kids, watch the signs. You just gotta watch all of that because a lot of people do like to, prey on vulnerable children who, really sometimes don't have, a big family setting or, a strong family, solid family core or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So again, they'd like to get with people that's adopted, people that's in and out of detention centers, in and out of jail, things like that. They love to try to prey on people like that who are in vulnerable situations. Matter of fact, the dude definitely used to come to the jail to come talk to people and stuff. Look at this, man. Got dude wearing dresses and all type of craziness. And again, Madonna adopted more kids from Malawi after David in 2009. After battling in the court, the singer was finally approved to adopt Marcy James. She adopted a set of twins, Esther and Stella, in 2017. The plea further states, "We firmly believe that Malawi has been robbed of the most precious resource, its children." Continues in 2013, the country accused Madonna of bullying state officials and making diva demands, and citing her raising Malawi charity as a reason for doing it, for doing so. And that's funny. That's what I'm saying, bro. A lot of these people, you feel what I'm saying, have money and use a lot of power. That's what I'm going to get into when I get into my situation. But again, Madonna, this is not the first time Madonna has been accused of child trafficking. Telling you, family, these people are weird. And I'm telling you, all right, you know how they try to say that Black people are, we inherit trauma from our past generations, from slavery on down to this, that, and the third. You have to understand, man, white people been running around for centuries, and centuries, running around all over the world, raping people, right? Like that's part of their culture, like truly. Not trying to denigrate anybody, but that's part of their culture, right? So again, a lot of that gets passed down. Matter of fact, you can Google this if you want. The most sex crimes per capita is in the state of Oregon, and I'm going to get into that very soon. But let me switch off, and I'm gonna go into these dudes from Georgia. These two dudes from Georgia. See, a Georgia couple accused of sexually abusing adopted boys. Husband bragged about molesting son. Report. Again, Tariq was talking about when he was talking about Madonna. When I was watching that Madonna episode, he was talking about this kid who did something to this teacher. I believe he shot the teacher or something like that. And during the interview, or during the news interview, they kept showing, a picture of a Black kid that had nothing to do with it, but he went to the school and he was saying, I guess but they really wasn't really focusing in on him, but they would just pop his picture up here and there. And he was like, yo, that's like the propaganda, but they never showed the white kid who was actually doing the shooting, right? So again, that's like that type of propaganda. And I noticed that, I'm gonna just scroll down for a second before I even start reading. And these are the two dudes, right? But right above them, it says, Memphis woman robs two men on dating website at gunpoint with accomplice. Like, why would you put that right above them? Even if you're trying to promote something, like, why would you put that right there? Because when you click on that, that happens to be, right? That happens to be a Black woman, right? So you literally, hold on, family. I'm sorry. I don't messed up now. I gotta share my screen again. But they literally did that purposely, right? My fault. But they literally did that purposely just to, as propaganda. So you could tap on that and take away and get away from what these weirdos is doing. So a Georgia couple is being accused of sexually abusing their adopted children and using them to produce homemade child pornography, prosecutors allege, according to new reports. Zachary Zolak and William Zolak were arrested on July 27th in Oxford, Georgia, after police raided their home and found video evidence that they were engaging in sexual abusive activities with the adopted children. The couple is now facing a grand jury indictment under charges of felony sexual exploitation of children, aggravated child molestation, felony prostitution of a minor, aggravated sodomy, incest, amounting to the possible 9 life sentences, according to documents obtained by Town Hall. And this one really looks weird. They both look weird, but this one really looked weird, like he was the one setting it all up. According to the indictment, the boys both in 3rd and 4th grade at the time. That's so young, bro. That's so young. That shit is crazy. That's crazy. Because my son is in 3rd grade. That's why I said that's crazy. But at the time of the arrest, were sexually abused by the couple who anally raped the minors in addition to performing oral sex on them. The indictment also alleges that the couple forced the boys to perform oral sex on them, and in the case, the older sibling was injured due to the anal rape. That's what I'm saying, bro. These people is crazy, and it's so funny, bro, because it's so like easy for these people to get access to our children, bro. And it's like, even though the little boys on here was white, but it don't matter what color they was at the end of the day, bro. Kids is kids, and we don't condone none of that, dog. We don't condone none of that. I don't care what color they is, even though that's why I said this is definitely, their culture for real, right? This whole sex trafficking and selling them off and doing all of that, right? Because again, we all have, weirdos in our cultures, but bro, they are the worst. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The documents state that Zolak's sexual abuse of children dates back to potentially 2019. According to the report, the boys were adopted in November 2018 when the couple went through a now shut down Christian adoption agency focusing on special needs children. And like I told you, it's always somebody that is in a vulnerable position. This is what they do. They grab these kids in vulnerable positions, right? And then because it's easier, they already have psychological issues. Some of them already suffering from depression or anxiety, not knowing who their family members is or not being with their family members. And it's easy to, exploit these people and do weird things. And again, a lot of kids don't say anything. A lot of kids don't say anything because 9 times out of 10, when a lot of this happens, it's always somebody that they kind of know and that they're close to on a regular basis. Rarely do you find instances where a person is being molested and it's just some stranger did it. With kids, it's normally somebody who's always constantly around them where they feel comfortable enough to like try them. You feel me? Most of the time. William Zolak allegedly admitted to force the couple's 11-year-old adopted son to perform an act of sodomy, oral capitalization, or coupleization. I can't even pronounce that, but I know it's something nasty, with the intent to satisfy his own sexual desire. Police wrote in the affidavit, bro. That shit is wild, man. That shit is wild. But yeah, family, man, I'm trying to tell you, I'm about to get into my situation now too. So let me switch the screen off, right? So this is where I was. This is where I was in Klamath Falls, Oregon, right? Klamath Falls, Oregon. This dude, Bill Bowen, he made this documentary called Innocence Destroyed, right? By Bill Bowen. After he made this, he mysteriously passed away, right? Before he could produce it and put the documentary all the way out himself. Because I think somebody else did it for him, right? So again, I'm not going to get all the way into my situation. I'm actually going to do a whole video on that. I'm actually waiting for some more paperwork to come so I can actually present my whole case, not my whole case, but a majority of my case, and I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna put it on my Patreon page. But I'm gonna show a little bit. But this is where I was in Klamath Falls, Oregon, and bro, what I mean, they got some child stuff going on out here. Abuse, torture, just like it say up there. Sexual stuff. They got a lot of crazy stuff going on there. And these people took my kids from North Carolina, brung them. They jumped on a plane, took them from North Carolina, brung them back to Oregon, and put them in foster care. Man, listen, these people is crazy. Now, listen to this. Listen to this, family.
You may be wondering to yourself that since these cases are so horrible, why aren't the parents obtaining contingent attorneys and suing the state over the loss of their children? There's a couple of problems that we've encountered and that we decided to investigate.
In just one county that we investigated, we found that not one of the county's judges had ruled against CPS in any permanent guardianship, nor did they rule against CPS in any case involving the termination of parental rights of children's biological parents. Not once in 13 years.
We also discovered that the attorneys that are appointed to handle the indigent defendants do not take depositions. They don't call witnesses, and in fact, they don't even meet with their clients until minutes before their hearings or trials. It's impossible to win if a judge is not going to rule for you, no matter what. And that's a huge barrier to being able to take the state to court.
There are currently 2 female judges in town who hear most of the DHS cases, and one of the judges has 3 nieces that all work at DHS, one of them being in a supervisory position. As far as I know, I don't think a whole lot of people.
That judge is Judge Osborne. Judge Osborne has 3 nieces that work in there, and one works, like she said, in PCS as a supervisor. I believe her name is, I can't even think of it right now. But yes, definitely. All these people that they name on here, Judge Atkinson, Judge Roxanne, Osborne, they all Marcy Bryant is her niece, I believe. She's the one in the supervisor.
People know that that's exactly what's going on.
We have a judge, Atkinson, who her niece is Chandra Aubrey, and she became a supervisor. 2 of her cousins became caseworkers, and of those cousins, 2 of their friends became caseworkers. Never was any of the clients told that she was related to a good portion of DHS.
We're talking about the family court system and CPS.
Hold on, family. Watch this.
Dire need of repair within the next year. As Senator Whitsitt pointed out to her, that was great, but what about all the people who'd been through that court and that court system who had transcripts which were wildly inaccurate? And those people today, some of them have lost their children forever.
Mr. Bowen was able to provide me with the audio transcripts of my court proceeding. There were thousands of errors within my transcript.
I was employed as the Klamath County Human Resources Manager for Klamath County, and I was employed as a court transcriptionist for the State of Oregon Judicial Department. I did learn at some point there were problems with Salmon's transcript.
The Bowens and Senator Whitsitt presented all of that evidence and more to the state court administrator, Ms. Kingsley Click. After receiving the information from Senator Whitsitt and the Bowens, a prodigious amount of information, she wrote a letter stating there was nothing wrong with the new transcript.
There was one of them I know, and she just had me write an affidavit and sign it saying that I corrected all the motions in the transcript. when Val Paulson went to her meeting in Salem, she portrayed it that I had read the entire 3,000, 4,000 pages of transcript and corrected every single indiscernible, every single word in that transcript, which I hadn't.
Yo, now watch this, family. Hold on. I'm about to, and that's actually the issue, right? I can go back to this tab, right? And that's actually the issue, is that they be in there cheating. They be in there cheating like, yo, bro, when I mean I got railroaded, this is why I always tell y'all, when I was in Oregon, I went to prison for some shit I ain't even do, right? So now they hit me with custodial interference, saying that I interfered with their custody, but they got their custody illegally. And I'm going to show you. 1 second. Hold on. I'm about to show you the lawsuit that was actually filed, with a notice of tort that was actually filed. And when I do it on the other joint, when I do my other situation, I put all this stuff out there. I'm going to show you what the lawyer actually said to my ex-wife years down the line later, right? Hold on. Let me stop sharing the screen. I gotta share my whole thing to do this one. All right, I'm gonna share the entire screen. All right, so here we go, right? Y'all can see. I might do it like this so you can see the whole thing. Don't take me out because I ain't up there. No, I'm sorry, family. Here we go. Michael Vergamini, attorney at law, right? I can't go too far down because I don't want to show nobody's. I think I did show her name, but who cares? Boom. I'm gonna go down to the bottom though. So it says, as directed and foreseeable results of the agency's negligence, the minor children have suffered physical harm to their person. Both Miss Adams and the children have suffered mental anguish and emotional injury. Notice is formally given that Mrs. Adams and her minor children intend to file a civil claim for negligence, negligent supervision, and negligent training, in addition to a federal civil rights claim for the violation of the due process and substantive due process. Now, the reason why it was a failure of due process, family, right? The reason why it was a failure of due process is because you went to court behind our back, right? Without sending us they went to court behind our back without sending us a summons. They didn't issue us a summons to come to court. They went to court behind our back. You got custody of our children. That's why you were able to go all the way to North Carolina, take them out of another state and put them in foster care, and then hit me with custodial interference. You see what I'm saying? They got to this dude, though, to the point where he fell back and never was trying to contact us ever, right? I done did 2 years in prison. That's another thing I want to show y'all. Let me show y'all this real quick. Let me show y'all this. I gotta stop sharing my screen. Watch, I did 2 years in prison, right? There it is. So I do 2 years in prison, right? Is it this one? Did you give him the results to the polygraph? No. Is this normal procedure? Yes. That was another thing. They tried to make me take this polygraph test. Because I had wound up, so all right, so watch this. They charged me with custodial interference. This is what really happened. They charged me with custodial interference. I was facing 10 years. I'm in a place where they're already cheating, right? So my wife, she's my wife at the time, but it's my ex-wife. She like, yo, I'm like, man, they can't prove none of this shit. Like, I didn't interfere, and they never gave us no like, you know what I mean? They never gave us anything to come to court, because now I'm in the law library, right? And I'm reading stuff, and it's funny too because they don't let you in the law library unless you got if you have a lawyer. So if you have a lawyer, they're not letting you in the law library. But being as though I was going in there under the family court stuff, because they didn't have me an attorney for that, I was able to get in there and I started looking at that stuff. So I'm like, man, nah, I'm taking this shit to trial, dog. And mind you, while I was in there, somebody put me onto that Innocence Destroyed and told me to send that video, go have my ex-wife go on YouTube and get that video and watch it. So once she seen that, she got stressed, she got scared. She like, oh no, hell no. So she like, yo, don't play with these people. They offering you probation. Just take it. You're not in the streets. Just take the probation. Don't roll the dice and go to trial and then loot and they cheat you, what they probably would have did. I'm kind of glad I did take her advice. And you get 10 years, nigga, and they give you 10 years. Like, hell no, don't play with these people. So I took it. I'm on probation, right? Now this happens, right? Now I'm on probation and they was trying to, all right, so that lawsuit that you had seen that I had pulled up was filed. I should have looked at it when I was, I can't pull it up again now, but I should have, that was filed December 17th, no, December 21st, 2017. That was filed December 21st, 2017. I was on probation then, right? So when I was on probation, he filed that. They immediately told me to come to the, they immediately told me to go to the probation office. So I go to the probation office. I'm like, yo, what y'all want? She like, oh, no, we need you to sign into this program. So I'm like, sign into this program? I'm like, man, for what? Like, it was like somebody who abused their wife. I'm like, nigga, I ain't never hit no girl I was with. Like, why would I sign up for this program right here? You feel me? And mind you, we're about to get the kids back because they took them. Mind you, they're in foster care right now. So I'm like, yo, nah, I'm not joining that shit. I said I don't feel comfortable, whatever. So I'm just, I'm reading the rules to the thing. I'm like, yo, this says this is for somebody who abuses their wife, right? This, that, and the third. So I was like, yo, let me call my lawyer real quick. So I calls my lawyer. I'm outside on the phone with this fat mammy lady, right? She was a mammy, had a zaddy and everything, black lady. And she wasn't even from that town. It was another reason I paid her. And she juiced me for like 5 stacks. She was like, just sign it. I'm like, man, I don't know. I ain't really supposed to do it. She's like, listen, y'all about to get the kids, this, that, and the third. She was just trying to get me to do whatever. So I'm like, all right. But they bum rushed me outside and was like, yo, you under arrest, whatever. I'm like, man, I ain't saying I refused. But mind you, I had them on record the whole time. They gave me a lie detector test like a couple days later. They gave me a lie detector test. They wanted me to say that, what was they trying to get me to say? That I was having contact with, mind you, they was trying to not let me and my ex-wife have any contact, even though the case isn't even about her. This is shit about our kids. You trying to tell me I can't have no contact with her whatsoever. So they was trying to say that in the lie detector that I had contact with her, right? So I'm like, nah, you crazy as hell. First of all, we didn't have no contact. It was only for like a week. I'm like, we didn't even talk to each other. So they like, nah, well, you failed that question. I'm like, man, I'm not beat for that. I actually got a lie detector test video that you can go back in my joint. I actually explain all of this, right? Because it's kind of long, so I don't really feel like really breaking that all the way down. But long story short, they tried to get me. This is why you see this right here. You can read it, pause it, and read it. They wanted me to sign this addendum saying that I lied, right? Because the lie detector test doesn't work. I want y'all to know that. That's why I did a video on lie detector test. It's not scientifically proven to detect a lie. That's why it's not admissible in any court. Except that's why, but they use it with probation, right? Because again, they're trying to get you to sign something saying that you lied, so they can take that addendum, as you can see here, and then whenever probation client fails the polygraph, they are asked to fill out an addendum to take responsibility for failing the polygraph. Is that right? She said yes. But that's when we come here. And you said, did you give him the polygraph results? He said, no. Is that normal procedure? Yes. No, that ain't normal procedure. And you're not going to sit here and tell me that I failed the test, but you don't want to give me the results of it. Again, that's how I knew they were styling too. But regardless, right? I'm like, no, I'm not signing that. I'm not signing no addendum saying I lied, because I didn't lie. So I did sign it, but I did not lie on it, and they wasn't accepting that. Long story short, I used that recording. I went in court. I don't got that paper on here, but I got that paper in my closet where they was like, is it here? Audible. No, that's not it. I'm sorry. I thought I had the one where I was in the where the lawyers, the cop got on the stand and they was like, yo, did Mr. Adams refuse to get signed into the program? Because mind you, I told you I was recording them when they had that, because I already knew they was cheating. This is the whole thing. They are some cheating ass people. You heard the white people even say they was cheating and lying, and the judge got her to lie about some transcripts. Yo, they is some fucking shiesty ass people out there, dog. And mind you, all this shit is to get your kids. That's why this whole destruction of innocence, this whole video, destruction of innocence, is all about child shit. This shit is all about, this is why you see all these children on this joint. You feel me? That's why you see all these kids on there, because all this stuff is about child stuff, right? Because that's what they be doing over there, right? They get in there. I'm sorry. They get in there and they doing all this lying stuff to be able to adopt your kids out. And mind you, there's people's families who work in this joint who are legal adopters, right? So they doing a whole finesse. The judge got family that work in CPS, and the people in CPS, that's her family still, but linked to the people who work in CPS, they actually be taking foster kids in. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, it's a mean finesse, right? So the cop gets on the stand and say, yo, because we got the tape, I can record. I sent the tape to the prosecutor. I sent it to the police station. I'm like, bro, I got these niggas. I ain't going nowhere. This my parole. This is a probation violation. I'm like, man, I ain't going nowhere. Matter of fact, my ex-wife like, yo, we about to run. I'm about to go to Alaska. She was doing nursing. She like, man, we about to go to Alaska and slide on these niggas. I'm like, man, hell no. This is the first time ever I ain't did shit wrong. I'm not running. I don't even want to be on the run. You feel me? She don't know what it's like. I'm like, man, I used to be running my whole motherfucking life. I'm not running, dog. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder. I ain't in the streets. You feel me? I was on my pro-black shit back then. Nope. Well, I'm still on it, but man, I got in court. The cop get on the stand. I'm like, yo, you gonna play the tape? She like, mind you, he said, no, I didn't refuse. My lawyer asked him, did you listen to the tape? He said, yes, I did. He said, did Mr. Adams refuse? He said, no. The judge like, man, I believe probation. I was like, yo, that's crazy. I'm like, yo, you ain't even listen to it. You gonna listen to it? She said, I'm going to send you to the county jail, because I was on the street. She said, I'm going to send you to the county jail, and I'm going to bring you back for sentencing. Man, listen, when we get back to sentencing, she said, I'm going to listen to it within those days or whatever. What it really was she didn't want to play that. She didn't want to play that tape in court, because now it's on court record. You feel me? We get to court. I think it was like a Friday or something. It was March 6th. I'll never forget. It was my dad's birthday. The day I got sentenced. Yo, sentenced me. She said, I listened to the tape. I said, the first thing I did when I walked in there, shackled up. I'm like, yo, you listen to it? She like, yeah, you didn't refuse, but you ain't asked them to be recorded. I'm like, what? Yo, I say, yo, this bitch great. Mind you, in Oregon, you don't need to ask nobody to be recorded. And I heard Rizza Islam. First of all, I knew that based off the law, because I had the law to that shit. But I heard Rizza say that that's how they got they tricked somebody with that whole autism thing think it was I forgot that dude's name, but it was a white dude with RZA Islam. And they said they tricked, not RZA Islam tricked him, but RZA was telling the story with the white dude. They got the dude to come to Oregon and they recorded the nigga about autism and them things they put in your arm and how they was having autism. He recorded them because you can record people without their knowledge in Oregon, right? So she like, well, instead of giving you 50 months, I'm gonna give you 30 months. Like she did me a solid. Cause I really didn't refuse. She just saying because I recorded them without their knowledge. So she making it seem like she did me a solid. Like I was like, yo, did that, but I was sick. But I was about 150 pounds, bro. Soaking wet, going up in there, sick as hell. I was like, damn, I should have ran, dog. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? But that's what I wanted to say. Dude actually finessed. He wound up not doing it. They talked him out of filing the lawsuit. That's another issue me and my peoples be having because she don't never press anybody else or anything like that. I actually got her because I know this thing called repost, right? It's an email thing that copies the email because she was always emailing him, always emailing. He would never return no emails. He wouldn't return no calls. He wouldn't do anything, right? So I said I took Polite's class one day on credit, and Polite was talking about this repost and how you can use repost and you can send an email out and it tracks the email. So I was like, and it can tell you that whether the person read it or not. Woo, woo. So I'm like, yo, email him using this. She did it. Got her first response in years. And this nigga said, no, I didn't. He said some bullshit, but the second thing he texted after she was like, and mind you, she sent them all when she did. I like how she did that too. She sent him all the previous emails he sent attached with all like, yo, I've been trying to get in touch with you for years, so he can't say, oh, I wasn't getting shit. She sent all the previous stuff attached to it and was like, yo, I've been sending you emails forever. Like what you mean? He tried to say something about she ain't think he was busy or he had she didn't think she wanted to do the lawsuit still. Yo, that nigga's next John was, are you trying to sue me? Like, what would make you say that? But again, I kept telling her press the issue. She ain't want to keep pressing the issue. I filed a lawsuit while I was in jail on my own behalf. But again, I was stressed out. Bro, I had anxiety attacks in there because I was doing so much, bro. I was trying to appeal my own little situation, trying to appeal the stuff with my kids, and they was doing all this cheating, denying all my stuff because, of course, it got to go back to the same judge who effed me over in the first place. So they just denying stuff. Yo, I was on the yard working out one day, stressed, straight man down. Boy, I had an anxiety attack. I'm out there. Man, listen, bro. That's why I was like, my mom was like, I was talking to my mom one day on the phone. She's like, man, just give that shit up. Like, man, that shit gonna kill you in there, dog. Like, you already somewhere foreign. You don't know nobody over there. Like, man, don't die in Oregon prison, nigga, trying to fight these people, bro. Just let it go. You almost home. You done did way more time than that before. You almost home. I was almost home. I had probably like 9 months left or some shit like that. It's like, man, do not let these people stress you the hell out. And that's another reason my ex-wife don't want to deal with. She like, man, I not want to fuck with them people no more. They is ruthless. They ain't playing fair. But again, that's why I said it was so hard even to get that lawyer. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, it took us mad long to find somebody to take that case. And again, I had to tell her, I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, they not taking this case because it's me on the phone. And I already was built up because my kids, because trust me, my kids wasn't, they was still in foster care at the time. So nigga, when I'm on the phone talking about this shit, I'm going off. They, you feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, they need to hear a softer voice. I'm trying to tell you, I already know how white people work. You need to hear a softer voice. And the moment she got on the phone, that was the first lawyer she got on the phone with, and the nigga took it. He took the case over the phone without even seeing no. He said, yo, I can look on the court documents and I can see that they never sent you a summons. They never sent y'all a summons to come to court. We was on the phone for like 2 hours. She had him on speakerphone. He's like, y'all sure y'all didn't get nothing in the mail? He's like, you check? I'm like, yo, I promise you we did. He's like, first of all, I could tell by the law. I could tell they came there on a Friday. They came there on a Thursday. Even if they mailed it out, because they came there like 5 o'clock at night. So already the post office was closed. So he said on Friday, that was Thursday night. On Friday, he's saying, even if they sent it out Friday, they went to court Monday. You would have never got that shit on Monday because they got to give you 3 business days. They can't do no next day shit. They got to give you 3 business days. And if you out of state, you get 7 business days. Dead serious. So he like, that's already a due process violation, right? Which would reverse my whole charge. If we would have filed that lawsuit on, that reverses my whole charge. I'll be able to fucking sue them for spending that 2 years in prison, or 23 months, basically 2 years, 23 months. You feel what I'm saying? So like, again, he was like, yo, listen, I'm not even going to file this right now. Cause it was like December. It was the very beginning of December. It was like December 1st or 2nd or some shit like that. He said, when y'all get the kids back, we said on the 15th. He said, when you get the kids back on the 15th, take them immediately back to his mom, because they was staying with my mom. He said, take them immediately back to his mom in North Carolina, and I'll file it when you get back. Nigga, she got back on the 21st. He filed it on the 21st. Them niggas called me because I was the one on probation. They called me into probation right as soon as they got that shit. Like, yep, come in. You gotta come in. Oh, you got signed in this place trying to get me to do all this fluky shit. And I knew it. That's why he wanted us to sign the kids. Excuse me. That's why he wanted us to take the kids away, because he like, yo, if I file this lawsuit, they're going to put y'all kids up for adoption. This is the lawyer saying this shit. This is the lawyer saying it. Like, yo, if I file this now while y'all kids are still there, they're going to put them up for adoption. So just wait till they give them back. Once you take them to North Carolina, they out the door jurisdiction, and I'll file the lawsuit. And that's exactly what he did. That was the, what's the name I sent you? That one I showed you, the one that said, with the, what's that shit called? Notice of tort. Real talk, family. So again, man, at the end of the day, family, y'all watch these people, man, because they got some weird stuff going on. And again, this is why a lot of these people don't get no time for doing all this cold weirdo stuff on children, because a lot of the people who doing it, you know, are at the top. You feel what I'm saying? It be these judges and all this stuff. This is why, you know, foster care and all this shit is very loose, and it's very, you know what I mean? That's why I said, y'all allow these people to do anything to these kids, and it just gets thrown under the rug, because again, all this shit is a check. You feel me? They getting like $6,000-7,000 a month for each kid. Dead serious. Dead serious, man. I'm trying to tell you, it's this book called Sui Juris. People, William, look at that joint up. Sui Juris. Is William and Pamela Gaston out of Oregon. Got their kids snatched in Salem, Oregon. Trying to tell you, fighting the system. Because I somebody gave me that book to help me file my lawsuit against DHS. The same people they talking about in that video. Trying to tell you, Oregon, bro, it is rampant over there. That's why they got the more terms. They got the most sex crimes per capita in the United States, bro. And they definitely got a child sex ring going on out there. And that's what I'm saying. It's the courts is down with that shit, especially in Calumet Falls for the most part. The courts is down with that shit. Area, bro, it's a ring. It's a true ring, fam. I promise you. But again, family, man, watch your kids. Watch who you have around your kids too, man, because you got a lot of weirdos. Got a lot of weirdos out here, bro. They be grooming you. They be grooming the kids, tickling, play fighting. You just gotta watch all of that stuff, man. Watch the people who be around them in sports, you know, at these little boys and girls clubs and all of that stuff, you know, little daycare. You gotta watch all these people, man. Don't ever, ever, ever let your kids get too comfortable around anybody, dog. Because the people who are doing it are the people that they are most comfortable around. I'm trying to tell you, that's not all cases, but it's majority of the cases that it's happening with people who are the closest to them. And you just gotta beware of that. That's why I don't be letting my kids stay at nobody crib, dog. They can stay over here, but you ain't staying over nobody house, bro, because I don't know who this dude's mom be messing with. She look like she's single. Oh, no, she don't mess with nobody. Yeah, but you don't know that. You feel what I'm saying? She probably not telling her kid that she messing with somebody and be bringing somebody over when he go to sleep and all that other stuff. Then when she knocked out, he running through the crib and shit. I'm trying to tell you, man, shit, crazy stuff be happening, man. Because trust me, once my situation is over, I'm opening up the bag. I can't really say way too much on my stuff, but trust me, I'm opening up the bag because, bruh, I'm opening up the bag. I promise you. On the Boy Scout situation, all of that stuff is coming to fruition. I promise you. But all right, family, I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Y'all, again, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, the share button, the like button. Check out the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Check out my Patreon. Hit me at Blackstar TV 2.0 on PayPal, and on my Cash App is $WILLIE 0312. That's Willie 0312 on the Cash App, man. Family, we up out of here. Y'all have a blessed weekend. I hope y'all had a productive week. Again, I got some stuff in the making. I've been making bread off of. Shout out to Brother Ben X, who is my sponsor. You know, put a brother on to some game, and I'm gonna share it with y'all as soon as possible, man. As soon as I get some things rolling real quick. But all right, y'all have a blessed weekend, family. We out of here.